Naruto 639. Okay, a couple things before we get into this action-packed chapter. First, viewer comments last week. I appreciate everyone's efforts. For whatever reason, both my Naruto and my Fairy Tail were flagged for copyrights. I don't even do video editing at all. You can't get any rawer than I am. Now, the only other part of this could be if you guys are copyrighting your comments and getting me in trouble, but I don't think that's what happened. But anyway, so whatever silliness that is, you know the process you have to go through. You say this is all my stuff, and they put a comment, and then they don't ever get back with you. So whatever. So just unmonetize it or whatever. So, which I don't really make anything doing this anyhow. So anyway, moving on. Now, I do reread the chapters, but this week the action was so good, and then when I got to a better copy of what I was watching, it was so good. About 5 times in a row, I just kept going back and looking. There was so much in here. There's I mean, it's action, but there's everything in there, and there's Sasuke jumps at me. But before that, like the humor, you've got just the little things. Each one of these, almost every single panel was just so incredible. And there's so much story. People talk about the whole thing. There's too many characters in Naruto. There's so much story now. When you look at any panel and you see 2 characters together, you see all the history that's gone on between them. It's almost overwhelming now. The whole thing about the two, the first and the second are there, and they're ripped in half, and they're sitting there having a conversation about their counterattack. That's hilarious to me. But anyway, the thing that jumped out the most after I read, your perception changes as you watch it a few more times, right? So Sasuke, he really jumped out at me. The whole thing of him deciding, guess what? Now I am in charge of Team freaking 7, and it just amazes me how little panel time Sasuke needs to just get people thinking, to start pushing buttons to do it. He's an amazing character. So, and I don't think that Sasuke, of course, fictional characters, doesn't seem to realize that Naruto is able to. There's a lot of things that he can perceive that Sasuke can't. Okay, and especially a lot of the Jubi stuff that's going on. Okay, so he thinks that he's spacing out. He's looking at other stuff. That's my opinion on that. And then the whole thing, which is really clear, which has been confirmed over and over and over, of course, is that the new Danzo, Sasuke, of course, is his idea is just to keep it's the same thing he's been doing his whole life, which hasn't exactly been solving problems, right? It's to keep the body count as high as possible. That seems to be Sasuke for the most part, except for sometimes he kind of goes middle of the road, right? And he's like, well, we don't kill these people, and then he goes evil again. So that's just the way it is, and of course, Naruto is the person that's trying to preserve life and trying to, do it in a less, destructive manner. So, but anyway, we'll see. It's really interesting, though. And that is, and of course, but anyway, there's a lot of potential there. So, there's another thing. And the genius of Kishimoto, right? Madara and Hashirama, they're confronting each other, but it's almost in a neutral way. Okay? Because you're like, what's going to happen? Now, Madara evidently, whatever he has to play, there's a time component. And that time component evidently is linked directly to Obito's perception of whatever Madara has set up for himself, okay, as a controlling mechanism to make sure that Obito doesn't get too out of control, which has already happened. Okay, so he needs to activate whatever the hell it is. Now the question is, my question to you is, Madara going to attempt to overwhelm Hashirama and go do what he needs to do? Or is he just going to sit there and talk and say, you need to get out of my way so I can go do this thing to deal with the Jubito, or we're all doomed. Everybody's going to live in, we're going to get dismissed or what have you, and we're going to return back, and I'm not going to be able to be alive again, and the world's going to be in an ultimate jujitsu kind of thing. So, Gengetsu. So, I mean, I don't know. My own suspicion is I think there's going to be some kind of dialogue, but I think that a battle between them right now, it's simply too distracting, especially with Jubito running around. So I have a feeling that Ito Hashirama is going to actually, I know this, most people probably disagree with me, and I may be wrong, but I think he's going to allow Madara to do whatever it is that he's going to do to take care of Jubito. I think he's going to do it. All right, now the next thing is, and like I said, I'm going to really try to keep this video short. Something I really want to point out, and a lot of people already know this, but there's the prophecy, of course, about Jiraiya. He's going to be the teacher, the one that either, destroys the world or basically saves it. I was put in a different way that, but something I want everybody to remember, which I know you already know, is Minato was also taught by Jiraiya. And it may be that Ito Minato is actually does whatever it needs to be done here, okay, right, to defeat Jubito, okay, and that Naruto's role in this entire series will happen after this, whatever it is the next arc, and that'll make him the hero, of course, since this is Naruto, the series. But that would be kind of an interesting spin on it. But I want to make sure everyone realizes how much I really do appreciate the viewer comments and how much fun it is for me to read them and to learn. Like I said, I'm a below average fan, but whenever I read the comment and I get the insight from everybody, that puts me to, in my opinion, as an above average informed person on Naruto. And you guys are very insightful. Don't underestimate it. As a matter of fact, what I think that most people that have done comments on this site have realized is how much you have to contribute. And once you can get the trolls out of the way, you start seeing people commenting on each other's videos and kind of adding to them, and it's a lot of fun. It's like anything. Once you get the trolls out of any situation, it's a lot of fun. Anyway, I just appreciate so much. It's so much fun for me every week to do this. Really do appreciate your efforts. Anybody can be an anime fan. You can always subscribe. You can always unsubscribe. You can do anything you want to. Until next time, take care.